With the US election approaching its finish line, it is now time for the American people to make a decision on which horse they'd rather bet on. Do you go for the overgrown Oompa Loompa or Chucky the doll? Yes, two very ugly choices in an election that will go down in history as one of the worst horror movies of all time. But given that a decision has to be made on which serial killer you'd rather have slash your throat, it may be a good idea to look back in time to get a sense of what the two candidates could potentially be like once they are elected. Let's begin with Hillary. When you look at Hillary, there is but one person to compare her, and that's the man, the myth, the legend, Richard Milhouse Nixon, or as he will be remembered in the history books, the last living dodo. I mean, damn, the resemblance is uncanny. It's like a mad scientist bioengineered him into existence with a dodo's DNA.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
No, but when you look at our homeboy Milhouse here, you can see quite a few similarities between him and Hillary. For instance, they're both liars, they're both crooks, and they both had a huge scandal surrounding them. And while with a name like Milhouse, Nixon was bound to f*** up at some point. And sure enough, he did. That f*** up being Watergate. But before we get to that, let's roll back a little and look at a few instances that Nixon showed America his shady side. Starting off with the Vietnam War, which was central to his campaign as he had pledged to the American people that he would end the war.
I pledge to you, we shall have an honorable end to the war in Vietnam.
But in reality, he would secretly have meetings with the South Vietnamese government, urging them that if they would hold on, they could receive a better deal under him, which I may add, they never f***ing got. This guy pretty much wanted the opposition party not to have the diplomatic victory that would give them the advantage during the election. Which I mean, come on Nixon, it was the 60s. If you really wanted to win that badly, you should have just promised to legalize weed. Or if that was way too left for you, then you could have simply promised to ban the one thing those tree huggers hate more than anything. So. But instead you decided to A. commit treason and B. send thousands of US soldiers to their death just because you wanted to have the privilege of ending a war.
Psst, hey, Jefferson, were you a good president?
I believe I led my countrymen with great merit.
Yeah, but did you end the war? No, but I did. Ha! I rule, you suck. Ha ha ha! Nixon 1, Jefferson 0. Hey, Feder. Did you end the war? No, you got in $1 when you lose. Ha! Lamau! Richard Nixon's the greatest president in the world. Ha ha ha! I'm not a crook.
Some of you may be saying, well, he did keep his promise to end the war, and well, yes he did, but not before letting more than 20,000 US soldiers die. You see, publicly Nixon would approve a plan to end America's involvement in the war, but privately he would intensify the conflict by bombing Cambodia and sending the Marines to invade Laos, which in turn continued the war for another 4 years. Nixon was pretty much the type of guy that would smile at you at your home whilst your wife sucked his dick under the table and your enemy banged your mom in your bedroom. Yeah, he's practically Littlefinger from Game of Thrones. Well, except that Littlefinger is not a crook. I mean, he did tell Ned not to trust him.
I did warn you not to trust me.
No, but when looking at Nixon's term as president, you will find a range of illicit acts that goes along with it. The worst one being when Nixon's men broke into the DNC's headquarters to wiretap the offices and dig up dirt on the Democratic Party. And although it was established that Nixon didn't authorize the break-in, once he knew about it, he did whatever he could to cover it up, lying about it for months.
I was appalled.
No wonder his nose is so long. I guess we now know what happened to Pinocchio once he grew up. I'm a real boy, but I'm not a crook. I'm not a crook. I'm going to say to you people watching TV, I've earned it. You need to know your leader is no crook. I hold America. That's the only way to be. I want the world to know Mr. Nixon is no crook. I know I did lie to you, but that's the truth. I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I got. You